I have put so much time on this deer, you know, and I've done everything I humanly possible that I can. I'm like, if it's meant for me to kill this deer, you're gonna have to put it in front of me. I can't do anything else. The first day, I mean, Caleb and I both just could not get over how big his body was. I mean, that old Roman nose. I mean, this dude right here has seen a lot. Every 10 minutes, it felt like I'm like, good Lord, please help me. I mean, because I'm trying to do this legal, I'm doing this honest. The property line runs across the middle of the power line. I am not shooting on another man's land. I do not want to do that. We're not doing that. You know, we've reached out to a landowner, can't get permission. I mean, it just felt like we was hog-tied on this deer. But just how we have chased this deer from a maturity standpoint, let this deer go and let this deer go. I mean, the prayers we have sent up for this deer. I mean, my dad, you know, was texting me saying, he's like, son, I'm praying for you, you know, just do right, hang with him. You know, if it's meant to be, it's gonna happen. And I don't know. I really don't even know how to put it in the words other than that. Just the good Lord had His hand on every bit of this hunt today. That's just all there is to it. I mean, this deer comes 600 yards, 600 yards straight to me, 30 yards. Trying to have everything we do to try to have a message in it. It takes it beyond hunting or beyond being outside or outdoors. You know, to try to have a life-saving message in there. You know, for the first deer to come off this property, I don't know how this could have been any better. Alright, so I am gonna go hunt the deer I'm calling Tank. I just turned on County Road here. I'm gonna run by the neighbor's house, see if he's home. I like to have an in-person conversation with him. I've talked to him on the phone. Just see if I can get permission for just this little section that I'm needing. I mean, literally, this deer is within just, I mean, the other day, yards. I mean, just a few yards where, you know, I have permission at. You know, I'm just not the guy that's gonna do that. So, you know, take a deer where I'm not supposed to. So, I'm trying to, you know, respect the neighbor's wishes, respect his land. I think if you do it right and stay honest about it, you know, I think that if it's meant to happen, I truly believe the Lord put it in front of you. Getting settled in once again. I feel like I'm cat and mouse with this deer right here. Y'all, I know I've talked a lot in this video.
what's brought us here. And the fact is, this deer is kicking my butt. That's the moral of the story at this point. So, I'm probably playing with fire today. This is one of them zero or hero moves right here. I'm as tight as I can possibly get to him from where I believe that he is bedding. Now again, the property that he's on, or that I typically see him on, I have no idea other than Onyx how it lays out or what it looks like other than the aerial view. But running the 3D on Onyx, there is a funnel that runs all the way through my property or my permission onto that property, and it opens up into a big beaver pond and swamp back there. And this deadly goes uphill from there, and I believe he's bedding on that ridge. So, this whole power line bottom that I'm sitting in is a swamp, to the point that I walked down in there and you can see where the power companies has cut it in the past and has sunk equipment in here. I mean, there's ruts that's 2, 3 foot, 4 foot deep, where they have just bottomed out equipment in here. I mean, it's super wet. And these deer, from what I've noticed, is just walking on these dry pockets on here, on these both these little ridge systems on each side of the swamp. So I'm sitting on one of them and overlooking the next one. Part of the next one is where my permission ends, but I have about 300-ish yards that I can shoot right here. And I just can't get any tighter to him, or I'm not willing to anyway, from where I'm at now, without knowing exactly where he's at. I'm just not willing to squeeze in any tighter, especially with a gun. If I was bow hunting, that would be different, but the way this corridor runs, according to Onyx, it makes a Y to the right of me, and it can go out the way I've been seeing him, or he could just as easily come to the left and crossing this bottom. And the only dry pocket for me to sit on would be where that comes out. So that's why I'm not willing to push the envelope here. It's just, if I were to do that and he decide to come this way and use that funnel that I think that he would walk right into my pocket. So, and sitting on the ground, I'm just not going to do it. So I got a strong east wind, 5, 6 miles an hour, hit me right in the face. I mean, the wind is absolutely perfect for here. But normally I'm sitting 400 yards up the hill. But we realize that there's about 75 yards of this bottom that we can't see from sitting up there because of the way the power line rolls. So I have no idea if he has crossed in here before. I have sat here once before and got busted by some does behind me. So that's why I moved higher, was to try to keep from getting busted by anything that walks behind me. But being as how I have not seen this deer or had any pictures of this deer behind me on this side of this swamp, again, it's zero or hero today. I don't care if every deer in this block knows I'm here other than him. I mean, this is the one deer I got my sights after. And body-wise, again, he is just an southeast Alabama giant for Coffee County. I mean, the deer looks like a little Angus baby bull walking around. I mean, realistically speaking, again, in my mind, he's probably 225, 230, somewhere in there. But rut's going, they're chasing, so he's probably going to run some of that off, I would imagine. But he's just an absolute warrior of a deer. You know, I've seen a lot bigger deer and killed bigger deer, rack-wise. But we're talking about easily a 6.5 plus year old deer. But I'm not scared to say this deer's 7, 8, I don't know see him, y'all probably gonna be like, wow, you talked that up a lot, but I don't know. I'm different than a lot, I guess. It ain't all about what's on top of his head to me. It's just the wisdom, and his body just speaks for itself. So, here we are, and I'm hoping, Lord, I'm hoping this 7 mag gets to bust his shoulder this afternoon. I just need one opportunity, and we gonna seal the deal on this dude, so I'm done talking now. I'm sorry. Y'all sit back. We gonna do this thing together. Let's get it.
All right.
Oh my God. Yo, he's running over right behind me. I literally had to come out of the bog, spin around, stand up, while the deer. Oh my God.
Hello?
He's freaking done, son.
Did you do it?
Yes, he ran a doe right behind me. I had to come out of the bog and shoot him freaking free-handed behind me.
Did you find him?
Oh, I just heard him crashing there to the left of me.
Is he up high or is he in the bottom?
No, he's up high. He crossed behind me, behind the first H frame behind me.
No crap.
Dude, I heard him coming all the way down the draw. And I just pointed the camera where I thought he was gonna be at. And he ended up walking the wood line up and was just grunting every step. And then the doe run behind me. And I come out the bog and was just had it in my lap. And I kept looking behind me, and all of a sudden I just seen his rack come up over the sage. And when I stopped him, I mean, it's him. It's the freaking tank, dude.
Heck yeah.
Oh my
You want me
gosh,
to come on
dog.
over?
Freaking believe it.
Alright, I'm grabbing my flashlight.
Dog, I was sitting here, like, no joke, like every 10 minutes, and I was like, God, if this deer comes out on this side of the creek, I know good and well it was you, and it was meant to be, because I mean, this deer has never come this way. I've never had a picture of him. And I'm like, if this deer comes on this side of the creek, I mean, you're literally answering my prayers, and I'd be, gosh dang, this son of a gun that come 30 yards from me, dude. 30 freaking yards from me. Tell me that right there ain't answered.
Hey, that's awesome.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Hey, for a fact, gotta get there.
No,
You think, I mean, besides my flashlight, you think that's all we need?
yeah, that's it. God, dude, you. I cannot believe this. This deer ain't been within 600 yards of us all year. And dude, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, every 15 minutes I was like, God, please help me. Please help me. And this son of a gun come 30 yards in my lap, dog.
That is freaking awesome.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna get off this phone and take a minute, dude, cause I got like 10,000 thanks I got to send up.
Okay.
All right.
Heck yeah. Look at that.
That's him. God, what a body, dude.
That's a good one there now.
You talking about a tank of a deer? Oh my God. All right, well, all we need to get him out of here.
You ready to do it?
Yeah, I dang sure can't move him by myself.
I was gonna watch you.
You're gonna be watching me for a while. I've killed a lot of big deer. A lot of deer with a lot bigger racks than this, but I tell you what, this is by far the biggest South Alabama deer that I've ever laid my hands on. You know, and that was when we first seen him the first day. I mean, Caleb and I both just could not get over how big his body was. I mean, that old Roman nose. I mean, this dude right here has seen a lot. I don't know how old he is. You know, I was saying in the intro on the way here that I could easily see him 7+, and I still do. I mean, but you know what? This right here, Caleb and I was always talking about target bucks every year and what we're after, and this is it. I mean, there's a lot bigger deer walking around, but you know, we're chasing what's in here, and that's his wisdom. And this is about as wise of a deer you gonna find right here. You know, just to give a little bit again the story. I mean, I have sent many a prayer up over this deer. You know, reaching out to the neighboring landowner trying to get permission on him. I just knew that he was a deer when I first seen him that I would love, you know, lay my hands on, and couldn't get permission, got retrieval permission, but every time we've seen him, he's been on that side. I was texting Caleb earlier today, and I was like, man, I'm just so nervous today. I don't know why. You know, I was sitting there way before any of this even took place, just with the jitters, you know, just almost like he was standing right in front of me. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, we normally try to make these outros and intros, you know, real spot on, but I really don't have the words to say about him. I mean, it's just, I guess, the appreciation for him and his age, you know, and what he is just kind of overwhelming in a sense. I mean, to sit behind a deer like this, you know, how old he is and just things he has seen. I mean, I'm the first human being that's ever touched him, you know, and it's just, like I said earlier, it's just kind of a special thing. I mean, it's almost a sense of a little bit of sadness at the same time, because, you know, the things that he has seen and seasons he's weathered and all the hunters he's avoided, and, you know, to be behind him, I'm very, very grateful, to say the least. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it's the chess game's over. So, but we have worked our butt off for this deer. You know, like I said, trying to gain permission and watching him on hoof and watching him walk away and having crosshairs on him, can't pull the trigger. And we have set up so many different times in different spots here. You know, trying to just figure out, is this deer touching this property? Where can we put a camera, try to get a picture of him? And, you know, somehow nothing we done. It just, we couldn't yield the result we wanted. And, you know, it come down to the simple fact day when I was driving here, you know, I was like, you know, I typically send up some prayers before we go in. I always pray for, you know, safe hunt, and, you know, however that hunt's supposed to go, that his will be done. And, you know, driving here today, I was like, you know, I have done everything humanly possible
and still stay legal on this deer and honest on this deer. You know, because so many times we could pull the trigger on somebody else's land, but we're just not willing to do that. It's not who we are. That's not the right thing to do. And, you know, like I said in the truck earlier, I believe if you do right and you're honest about it, good things will come. And, you know, that's the only way I could leave it on this deer was the fact that if it was meant to be, I was going to stay honest with it. And if it was meant to be, it was going to happen. And if it didn't happen, I wasn't meant to sit behind him. And, you know, I don't know how many times I prayed today sitting there, especially when I seen him go across the top of the power line. You know, as a part of me, it was like, well, this hunt's over. And I just kind of bowed my head and I was like, Lord, I have put so much time on this deer. You know, and I've done everything I humanly possible that I can. I'm like, if it's meant for me to kill this deer, you're gonna have to put him in front of me. I can't do anything else. And y'all, this deer literally run a doe 600 yards, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
600 yards, straight to me. And heard them hit the creek. I put the big camera down in this bottom here because I figured they were going to cross there, and they didn't. The doe run behind me, and I'm on the ground. He comes out. And to start off with, he wouldn't come out till she got way out of hearing distance. He stood in the woodline grunting. And I hope the GoPro footage shows it, but I took the gun out of the tripod, set it in my lap, and the whole time the deer's over my left shoulder behind me, and I'm trying to use my peripheral to see if he comes out or not. And I finally hear him bust out of the woods, and he's just at a slow walk, and I could see his rack. And I eased the gun up and pan around, and again, I hope it shows all this, and finally get him stopped, and or he finally just stops, and couldn't tell exactly where it was at. I could just see his rack sticking up, and I either bleated at him or said, hey, or said something anyway to make him look up to see how he was quartered or angled, and I let it roll. And he ran maybe 50 yards and piled up. But moral of the story is I didn't do anything. I'm not going to sit here and sound like the great white hunter because there wasn't one thing that I done to be sitting behind this deer other than being on this property. I mean, every bit of this day was good, Lord. That's just all there is to it. I mean, it was seriously, you know, prayers answered today, you know, and every time we've come in here, really, about just, please put him on this side of the creek, you know, if it's meant to be. And, you know, I always enjoy hunting with Caleb and hunting with my dad and little Caleb, you know, when we go. And but I tell you, today, it was almost like, still get the satisfaction of sharing this with, you know, with my buddies and Caleb being here with me. I mean, I called him up, he drove straight over, and, you know, we all have that kind of bond that we all share this thing together. But I tell you, to sit there today and just literally spend the whole afternoon back and forth with the big man upstairs and him putting the target buck in front of me, you know, almost a sense of it being by yourself and that playing out, it was just a special moment. I know y'all are not going to get the feeling that I have right now trying to put this in words, but it was just, y'all, I think there's just something special when you pray for something and you totally take yourself out of the game, because I knew I'd done everything that I could on this deer, and the fact that I removed myself and let him work. I mean, all the hours we have put into this, and it's just like, you know, at snap of a finger, he puts you 30 yards from him, and it's like, all right, well, you've done it again, you know. So it's just kind of a little reminder that, to me anyway, that we can try, but until he's in it, it ain't happening. And that's, you know, I was saying in a video the other day, the woods talks to us a lot, and if you're there and you're still enough to see it, it's a really cool thing when it's just picture clear, you know, like reading it out of a book that he worked for you. I mean, he did. I mean, like I said, I would love to sit here and tell y'all a cool story about how we rattled this deer in or done that, but we didn't. I didn't do one thing but take myself out of it, put it in his hands, and let him work. And he put in 30 yards from me, sitting on the ground. So it's just a cool deer. I mean, one of the oldest deer I've ever killed, by far, biggest body. And the way this story plays out, you know, again, it's almost sad it's to an end, but what a good end it is. I mean, it's bittersweet. We picked up this permission about a month ago, and it's been a special place for us. We have seen a lot of bucks. We've already had some unbelievable experiences on this, but for the first deer to come off this property for us to put out to y'all, and you know, trying to have everything we do to try to have a message in it, it takes it beyond hunting or beyond being outside or outdoors, you know, to try to have a life-saving message in there, you know, for the first deer to come off this property. I don't know how this could have been any better. I mean, I wish I could put this in words better. I've done a lot of talking today. I've done a lot of talking to y'all today. But it's just one of them moments that by far, no matter how many more deer I kill, this one right here will never be forgotten by any means. So I'm gonna sit here a minute and enjoy this, and like I said, I got about 10,000 thank yous to send upstairs, and don't ever think that you won't, you know, I'm sitting here praying for a deer, so don't ever think that the things you pray to him about is too small. You know, he'll always make time for you, and it was proof in the pudding for me today, just the way this happened. So hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank y'all for watching. You know, we're still trying to grow out there and share our experiences with the ones that wants to watch it. So if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to it, like the pages, and anything we do, we're gonna try to make this fun, make this clean for y'all to watch, and we'll always give the thanks to the one that deserves it, whether we sitting here behind a deer or not. That's the most important thing when you take this out of it. So again, thank y'all for watching, and now the work starts again.
You got the most professional cameraman in the world here.
There's nothing no better than this right here.
Not sending pictures of the deer.
Hitting the old game check on Outdoor Alabama. What, a 7?
Mm-hmm.
Which side was he 4 on?
On his right, I want to say.
Look at the pictures. His left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confirmation code. Yeah, one tag left. And right now, I don't care if I punch it.